Brandi, here we are in the basement of the library, the secret special place for all the kids and young people. What do you call this whole division right now?
This is the Infants, Teens, and In-Betweens division, or department. We work through birth all the way up to seniors in high school.
And this is a new role for you?
Yes.
You are now, talk a little bit about this role and what it means for you.
In last March, I took over as the department head for this department. And so now I manage a staff of full-timers and part-timers and shelvers who keep the collection organized and plan our programs and work with the kids.
So this is really, this whole area is most young children and young people's first introduction to the library.
Correct.
Do you think about that, you and your team, as you're putting together programming and, let's say, even the decorations around here?
Absolutely. We are very big on having bright colors and things to draw everybody in as soon as they walk into the building. We have a lot of programs that will cover a lot of different interests. That way, hopefully, someone isn't left out. We have story times that are from birth to 5 years old in the mornings, and then we have evening pajama story times at night for the families that aren't available to come during the day. And we also have an interactive family story time once a month so everyone can come and get involved.
You kind of cut your teeth, let's say, upstairs in more the traditional library environment. Talk a little bit about that transition for you, and what is it here that provides that special energy you were talking about?
Well, I started working here when I was 17, so
Wow.
It was a long time ago. And when I started working here, I worked as a shelver upstairs in the adult collection, and then transitioned over to doing circulation duties, and then eventually came down here where I started part-time until I worked my way all the way up to the top down here. So.
Okay, it's wintertime now. We have our sweaters on, it's cold outside, but there are lots of fun, inviting, warm things happening at the library. Talk a little bit about what's happening here this winter.
Well, every winter season we always have two really big things happen. In February, we have the voting for the Illinois State Reader's Choice Awards, and this award covers grades kindergarten through seniors in high school. There's 4 different lists that kids can read off of in order to vote by the end of February for their favorite book.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, they're voting not for each other, but they're voting for a book.
Right, right.
So every kid has to read a certain number of books?
Right. The list all has a different amount that they have to read. One list it's 5 books, another list it's 3 books. It just depends on the age range. But what's great about this award is, you know, the Newbery Awards and the Caldecott Awards that we've all heard about growing up in school, those are all chosen by librarians and teachers.
Some adult talking about a kid's book.
Exactly. So the Reader's Choice Awards, this award is given to the book that the kids like the most. So it's always like, you know, and they're usually pretty good. Hunger Games has won in the past, and Harry Potter's won in the past. So the kids know what the best books are.
So how do Lansing area kids get involved in this project?
We work through some of the schools in particular, and some schools will focus on them through their curriculum throughout the school year. Other schools, we just go in and the teachers have been kind of doing it on their own, and then we'll collect the votes. This year we digitized it, so we're gonna have a survey monkey that they can use to vote. And then otherwise for the younger kids, for the kindergarten through 3rd grade awards, they get to vote in their own little kid way.
Does that engage kids and adults in a certain dialogue about what they like in books or what they see in books? Do you have some
Absolutely.
of that going on?
And you can tell, like, one book, like for instance, last year's winner is a book called Wonder, and it's a very intense story about a kid who had a physical deformity and how he was accepted in school. And so it's a really heavy topic, and yet that was by far the favorite book by the junior high kids this year. So obviously that had created some kind of a dialogue with the teachers and their peers in order to kind of understand the feeling of being isolated and feeling like you're part of the group.
So are kids in Lansing reading as much as they're watching videos, and do books engage them in the same way that we think video games and films do?
There's definitely something that the movie makers are getting right, and they're picking books as the basis of a lot of movies lately. and particularly like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series, which is incredibly popular and always off the shelves, and they've been making movie after movie about that, which is helping getting the kids into the library to get those books because they've seen the movie and vice versa.
So that's a big project that ends somewhere in February, you said?
Right.
That's only about midway through winter. So what else is filling up the winter here at the library?
Well, every year in March, never fail, we will have our big Dr. Seuss party. We've been doing this for as many years back as I can remember. And this year it's going to be just as big as before with a few changes. We're going to try to change it up a little bit and give it some new energy. So we're really looking forward to that.
And so that's sometime in March?
Yes, sometime in March.
Speaking of what happens here at the library in March, you get involved somehow in March Madness a little bit too, right?
Last year was our first year doing this, and we had a March Madness tournament that involved different book characters. It's huge. We put it on the huge conference room windows upstairs, so you can't miss it if you come in the library. And so this year we're doing it again. It was incredibly popular, and we're kind of changing up the characters, so we're taking suggestions at the moment for people to see up on the bracket, and then come at the end of February, the bracket will be up, and people can vote again. We do have voting in-house. You can come in and stuff the ballot box here, but we also have it on Facebook and our website so people can vote throughout the year on the computer too. So we get a lot of outside Lansing participation in that as well.
So from a library perspective, March Madness doesn't have to have anything to do with sports. It can have everything to do with reading.
You can always put reading into everything. Just find a little angle and squeeze it in. It always works out.
Also, throughout this time period, the wintertime and springtime, are you still involved with your high school lunch program?
Yes, we are going to TF South every Wednesday. It's called Library Lunch. And instead of going to the cafeteria, students can come and meet with me and Elizabeth, who's another librarian downstairs here, and they can come meet up with us. We bring them books that they can check out via interlibrary loan, and we bring them snacks and pop and games. I don't know. Sometimes we'll just talk about whatever they want to talk about, and we have a really good turnout. I want to say this is our 5th year doing this, and for a program that started with literally 2 teenagers for the entire day, now we are clocking in numbers close to 40 to 50 every Wednesday. So it's getting very large. We had to move out of their library and into a separate room, and it's fantastic.
Now, there are regular weekly programs that go along as well as just the specials. Talk a little bit about what's happening here on a week-to-week or day-to-day basis.
Well, every day after school, we always open up our chat room, which is for grades 6 through 12, and this is a place where the kids coming home from school who don't have a place to go right after school can come and hang out. And we have games, and sometimes we show movies and pull out our Nintendo Wii, and they get to play. So that's every day after school, Monday through Thursday, unless the schools are closed, then we won't have it. But that's a continual program.
And that lasts through the summertime?
That lasts from the first week of school to the last week of school. We also have our monthly homeschool hub group, which is fairly new. We just started that, I believe, in September, and we have a great turnout for that. So we're getting a big impact on the homeschool community in Lansing, and even cross state lines and stuff. We're pulling them from all over the place, which is really great. We also have our STEM program, which meets once a month, and it's on a Saturday usually. I think this for the next newsletter in February and March, we're going to have it during the weekday as well to see if we can get some more people who didn't know about it before. And STEM is a new program that that libraries all over have implemented. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. And it gives the kids a little craft or project to do that relates to one of those areas.
Now we're standing in a room that doesn't look too library-esque in one sense, but tell us a little bit about this room, because it's not just bookshelves, but it has a lot of books in it.
Yes, this is our activity room. We use this primarily for story times, but we also use it for other crafts and stuff during the week. That way we can keep the chat room open in the community room. Then this is kind of the room where all the programs happen. And our story times specifically are usually in 6-week sessions, unless something in the scheduling changes it. And we have three days a week, 2 sessions each day. So it's a little complicated. We have babies, which is birth to 24 months on Mondays, toddlers, which is 24 months to 36 months on Wednesdays, and preschools 3 to 5-year-olds on Thursdays. So it's a lot to cover, but we're getting a good turnout with all of that, and it's really popular.
If I'm interested in bringing my children or my grandchildren to something like this, do I have to sign up? And is that schedule you just rattled off, is that available somewhere where I can figure out a plan?
Absolutely. We do not actually require a sign up for any of our programs. Everyone is welcome, and once we get to the limit of the day, then we're done, but we've never actually gotten to that limit, so everyone can come, and let's see how many people we can fill up the story times with. That would be fantastic. And we also have all of our programs in a newsletter that you can pick up at the library, or you can go on our website, which is www.lansingpl.org, and all of the events are there as well.
Well, it almost makes me want to be a kid again because the library has changed so much. One last thing, Brandi, you have been involved also with Channel 4 over the years, for which we thank you and also honor you as a Volunteer of the Year. Is there something coming up that you are preparing right now related to hardcover feedback and that whole project with Channel 4?
Absolutely. We have 2 episodes ready to run. We kind of took a little hiatus while I was finishing up my school, but now that that's all done, so we have 2 episodes ready to go, plus another episode with a guest host that I'm actually not a part of. So that one's going to be interesting to see how that one goes.
Well, we want to thank you not only for all that you've done for Channel 4 over the past years, but in your new position here at the library, what you're doing for this community's kids, middle schoolers, and even teenagers. We hope that you're still having fun here at the library as well.
Absolutely. It's always fun here.